So the work that I'm sharing is together with a colleague. It's called What Should I Do? Nothing Okay. And it's part of a series of exhibition publications that we are calling the Department of Parapedagogic Practices. So my practice comes from dance, writing and computing. So it's a kind of interdisciplinary approach. And my collaborator, Shruti Belyappa, she's an art historian and a writer. So the work that we are doing here is what we conceive as a polylogue, which is a multiple or plural dialogue between different traditions of art history, namely the Western canon of contemporary art, the Japanese avant-garde from the 1960s, and pre-modern tantric images or image making, which were can be seen in relation to the tradition of painting. Now these are being fed into a custom-coded neural network, and what we see in the gallery is AI-generated output that is learning from a diverse tradition of image making. So that's what and along with the exhibition, we also have a publication which talks about opens up the different discursive elements, because what we are pivoting the exhibition on is the idea of nothingness or emptiness, which is something that began has interesting connections with conceptualism and minimalism from art, but also has a connection with spiritual practices, where the idea of mark making was geared towards the experience, the physical experience of experiencing a void or going to a space of zero mind-body, inner mind-body connection. So we want to open up these dimensions, and so in the gallery, along with the images, we have shared some of the reference images, the lesser-known tantric paintings, as well as we created an empty room inside the gallery where there is an invitation for visitors to actually do nothing, which we understand in today's day and age is quite a provocative proposal. So to help visitors in this proposed task, we offer a sound bath. We worked with a sound healer to generate this kind of a sonic massage to help you relax and then embrace the state of not doing anything, which we also think is a moment in contemporary culture to positively think about doing nothing in relation to AI and human labor and these questions. So there's a lot of different topics, from the digital to philosophy to the early relationship of mathematics and writing, and of course visual art and all of it. So it's a very complex kind of approach towards all of these subjects, approaching the subject of the void or of nothing. So yeah, I still have to, in fact today I keep to go visit a lot of the works in a more quiet setting, because of course I had a peek into some of them during the setups, and of course conversations also with the artists and my colleagues who were here, and had a glimpse in yesterday's opening. And what I find really interesting about it is that there is this position, as you used in the title of the exhibition, the interface, that the digital becomes a kind of interface where art, design, fashion, architecture can all meet. And personally also coming from within my practice and my own educational background, I'm all for this kind of transdisciplinarity, because I think that's really where urgently new knowledge production resides, and that's where new ideas for the 21st century need to come out from. And so I was really excited to see these kind of ideas and exhibits from architecture, from fashion, from both what we think of as very kind of decorative. In fashion actually produces something very strong for the image of the self and how people can think about in this the idea of confronting the self through a digital image. There were lots of these kind of very interesting moments, I thought, and of course that the interface for them becomes the gallery space, that art not just, it kind of can host a dialogue between these disciplines, and I find this moment always very exciting, that I feel here like, yes, I'm quite happy to be an artist, because this is really one of the spaces in contemporary culture that is open enough to do this while taking all the risks, and I really felt also going through the exhibition that I was thinking back, Yuko, that for a team coming from us, like I come from, let's say, primarily dance, and Shruti is an art historian, and we work very closely with two programmers. None of us are actually image makers, and yet we are proposing 3 paintings in a studio, and there's something very, I think, bold about this approach. Yes, which I find very exciting about the exhibition. I think, to a visitor, there's always, like I said, this sense of hosting, that you're inviting them into a kind of a family home, which is the whole exhibition. And of course, the gallery or the room that hosts our work, one of the, I think, the provocations or the stimulus we want to give a visitor is to think critically about the history of media and technology, because it's always a very potent moment, like I was saying about the exhibition. The fact that it can host such diverse practices actually, we think, means that digitality is in a place where it can choose its ancestors. So it's like a bastard child, in a good way. That is, you can tell the history of media through visual culture and the image making tradition. You can also tell it through the sonic epistemologies and ways of, which is much lesser known. I think now visual art is getting more interested in sound. But you can also, in our case, in somewhere, I think, because I come from a practice not just of dance but rooted in yoga, that I'm very interested in this renewed moment of dialogue between the spiritual and the digital, that I think they're proposing very relatable things for the body and for disembodiment in these kind of things. So there is this, for visitors, I would say, to use the exhibition as, of course, I think all the works are very engaging in and of themselves, but also use them as a surface or a springboard to think about what are the diverse ancestries from which we can arrive at our current moment of the digital. And when we say diverse, of course, in disciplinary traditions, but also in geopolitics of I think which something Japan does very well anyway, with in an indigenous focus of design, but also with a very contemporaneous outlook. So also to look at, I think what we are proposing is these, with the connection with Tantra, which is something that runs across South and Southeast Asia, that we can think of new kinds of transnational approaches to the digital that is not, again, pivoted heavily on the Euro-American center, because a huge part of digital and technological labor lies in Asia. And so equally thinking about technology, reflecting on it philosophically, artistically, needs to also come from where the labor force is. So there has to be a kind of, I'd say the message is to come and leave with a decentralized approach to technology.